Welcome back to Nick Lenz's Movie Review, episode number 89. This time we're reviewing the 19th James Bond film ever released and the third Pierce Brosnan film. It's also the last one featuring the visual cue, Desmond Llewellyn. This is The World Is Not Enough. Yeah, this DVD copy. I actually bought this myself. Yeah, fun fact about the VHS copy of this film. It doesn't start with the film after you go through the previews because VHS tapes are known for doing that. They have previews of other stuff, and then before it gets to the main film, we have a music video. Yes, I have no idea why in the world they put the music video for the song of the film, The World's Not Enough by Garbage. Yes, that's the name of the singer. Her name is Garbage. And no, the song is not terrible. It's a really good song. Now, about the song itself, the music video itself. What happens is this thing? The music video starts out with basically like the scientist put together this robot that basically looks like the singer Garbage. She starts singing, goes to a concert, sees her, probably the actual Garbage, and then she proceeds to make out with herself. We're all supposedly killing her, taking her earrings, and then of course while she's singing, they put a bomb inside of her. Of course, she blows up basically what's theater. Yeah, it's an odd music video. How does the film open up? Well, it's noteworthy for being the first and only Bond film to open up, after he had the famous gun barrel sequence, on Bond himself, where he's in Switzerland. He goes to visit a bank, and of course he gets frisked at a Swiss bank. Okay, it's not exactly the main Swiss bank. And of course his gun is on the table, and he's basically discussing about getting this money, and of course he gets the money back because the action sequence. And there's this, cigar girl who comes back later. I should point out, though, this is the longest opening title sequence of any Bond film. You know how long this sequence is? This is 15 minutes. Yes, most opening title sequences are about 5, maybe 8 minutes. This is 15 minutes. Yes, 15 minutes. Heck, there's a picture here on the back from the opening title sequence. The one with the boat. Yes, and according to what I heard on the commentary for this film, apparently the boat thing, like having Bond drive this boat and seeing Bond, this is all Pierce Brosnan's idea. Yes. Now, after he gets in a fight with the British, the bank officials, he proceeds to hop out a window with line from a blind thing. Of course, this long thing ties into the guy, and of course goes down and goes right down to the ground. No problem. And I heard that was how this Elbow Town thing was supposed to end. But no, we have him go back to MI6 and meets up with meets Robert King, the father of one of the Bond girls, the Electra King. Shake hands for a little while, and of course, it goes like, oh, this is the man who recovered my money. Thank you. And of course, Bond has a drink with M, and, he has some suds in his hand. It's like, King, the money. And of course, Money, and M's like, Moneypenny, stop King. And he's just already walking down there. He sees his money, and apparently there's his pen, and it's like a fire, and then boom! Whole room blows out. Yeah, this is actually the first time in the series where there's an explosion going off in an MI6 headquarters like this. Not a small one, this is a really big one. It takes up part of the wall, too. And, Bond looks outside, and this cigar girl on a boat that has a turret on it, basically a turret gun. She fires at Bond with his laser pointer, and of course Bond proceeds to steal Q's boat. Okay? And they have a chase across the Thames. Yep, they have a big, huge boat chase across the Thames. Yeah, by far the first film in the series since, up top of my head, I think the last film in the series to have a boat chase was Moonraker. Yes, Moonraker was the last one I can think of that actually had a boat chase. They go down the boat chase, and they go to the Millennium Dome. This building does exist. I heard it still exists today. Apparently, the Millennium Diamonds, I think, there's a famous case where these jewel thieves tried to steal it in the most hilariously possible, the forklift. They just basically pow in, all guns blazing, trying to steal the gun away. Of course, Scotland Yard found out about this ahead. I knew about this basically because of a documentary. So, and apparently Bond uses the boat to spin around, take out the turret that way. And, of course, Bond gets splashed along the way. Of course, he also goes underwater. Of course, he also adjusts his tie. I thought that was so nice. And he comes back to the surface, and of course the chase, and of course then he proceeds to fire some torpedoes at the boat, and it explodes. Yes, I do agree. It sounds like it's farting when it blows up. Also, Q basically appears in this beginning thing where he's like, "It's not finished yet." Yeah, they explain later it's actually his fishing boat. This small thing is his fishing boat. Okay. So, and then of course Bond proceeds to park the thing. Apparently looks different when he appears later. And he chases the cargo up a hot air balloon, and she's like, I can protect you." And she's like, "Not from him." And she fires at the helium tank. The balloon explodes, taking her with it, and you have Bond crashing on the top of the Millennium Dome. Apparently, it's kind of like made of rubber. Apparently, also, and he pulls and he also dislocates his shoulder. This comes to play later on. And then you have the wonderfully done opening title sequence featuring lots of oil, which basically this film is about. And then we proceed to, like, right afterwards. Yeah, and we have a briefing. Also, Bill Tan is back in this movie. He doesn't do very much, but at least he's back. He's in this film. He's not in the next film. Charles Robinson's back in the scene. Apparently, Sam's got 2 chief of staff. Yep, and of course, everyone's given assignments except Bond. And of course, he talks to him like, "Tenor, like, sorry, James, M's orders. Until you're clear about my medical, you're not going to the field." And then we proceed to one of the most odd scenes of the film that people don't usually talk about when people talk about this film. They talk about something else. I'll talk about that soon. Yeah, the smoking hot doctor, female doctor, yeah, actually, he's like, "I need a clean bill of health." So what does he do? Takes off her coat, takes off her skirt, and of course makes out with her, and then takes off her shirt, and they proceed to have sex in this room. Yep, and of course there's a hilarious deleted scene of her moving the table. Yeah, so simply put, she's basically hopping atop Bond wearing nothing but underwear and shoes. Yep, and then we have Bond fully clothed, walking by, and then we just walking by, and of course he stops, and then he sees a man playing bagpipes. Okay. And then thing turns to a machine gun and fires the damn thing. Yeah. And of course, Tribute Q is like, and Q's like, "Pipe down, 007. It's like, something I said? No, something you destroyed. My fishing boat. For my retirement, away from you." I thought this was so funny. And then, of course, they introduces the car, which is going to be used in the film. And this is also the same scene we get used to John Cleese. Referred to here as R, despite that the character didn't have a name, but yeah, he's basically Q's assistant and replacement. This is the young fella replacing me. Desmond Will, look at me. The guy was in his 80s when he did this film. And apparently, I also forgot to mention that in the first period of time, he's basically reading off cue cards. Yep. He was, when he died, he was 85 when he died. This is back in 1999. How old was the awesome John Cleese? He was, at the time this film came out, he was probably a bit younger. He was 70. Yep. He also looked in a lot better shape than Desmond Will. Yep. And of course, they use the car. They see the car, and of course, R is a bit of a clumsy oof. He gets the coat caught in the door. He's like, "Huh? Why am I stuck here?" And Bond just walks up, opens the door, and says, "Helps if you open the door." It's like, okay. And of course, he uses the coat, which basically plays later in the film. It's like, "Oh, pull the text, like Q," and Bond's like, "Hope you know retirement soon." Like, and he says, "I've tried to you 2 things, 007. First, never let the sea bleed." And he says, "And the second, always have an escape plan." Then he proceeds to escape. And that's the last time you see Q the whole film. Because after this film was completed, the guy died in a car crash. Not some natural causes. A car crash killed Desmond Will right after this film was released. Yeah, I'm not kidding about that. He was killed in a freaking car crash. And then he proceeds to go to... And of course, we have a briefing where apparently Bond is basically just cleared of being, well, go back in the field. Of course, they have this guy, Renard. They introduce him, and apparently the guy is immune to pain. That's why I think it looked like he'd be pain. Yeah, apparently he thinks he's immortal because he's got a bullet in his freaking head. Oh yeah, and there was a doctor he asked to move it. Apparently he couldn't move it, so he could kill the guy anyways. And apparently the guy has lost all his pain receivers, basically anything that makes him feel pain, has been miraculously cut off, and apparently he's also losing his sense of smell. I don't really understand it. Yeah, how in the world can a guy with a bullet in his head still be moving around? Yeah, now this was actually not done by 007. This is explained. I think it was like 005 who did this to him. Yeah. Yeah, he's the one who did that to him. He's the one who shot him in the head, and somehow he's alive. They don't really explain how in the world a guy can be alive with a bullet in his head. Because normally, a person would be dead. Yes. Of course, Moneypenny apparently is sort of teasing with the hot doctor. It's like, of course, apparently she could smell the fact that she apparently had sex with Bond. Okay. And of course, they proceed to Robert King's funeral. And, well, of course, they temporarily move MI6 headquarters from London to Scotland, which was also, believe it or not, they used this also in the Everything on the video game, which also featured John Cleese reprising his role as Q. Yeah, unknown how long it was kept there because next film, you don't see MI6 at all. Well, you don't see the exterior of the building. No, you don't. Yep. No, you don't. So, yeah. And, of course, Bond just also investigates the whole thing with Electra King's kidnapping. Yeah, she was briefly kidnapped. And apparently the money, basically, the money that was taken, that he received, was equivalent to U.S. currency to $5 million. This is how much Robert King paid for his daughter's ransom. And apparently the reason why he paid the ransom was because M told him not to. For some reason. Yep. And apparently M basically sealed her file for some reason. Yeah, never thoroughly explained why. And then of course we have the funeral. Bond meets Ledger King for the first time. And this whole thing turns about oil and of course Bond sort of decided to be a bodyguard for some reason. Even though that they reveal something later about the character. And then of course later on we see Bond basically takes her skiing. Basically this. Where he's like, of course, like, goes skiing with Electra, basically see how far the oil lines go. It's like, always protecting me, huh? Yep. And then it's like, you see some people on paragliders. Yeah, they don't really explain why these people were here. They just show up. Bond takes out a few of them. Also scrapes one of the paragliders. Yeah, so, and he goes to meet with Sokovsky, reprising his role from GoldenEye, who runs a casino now. He's no longer a mob boss. Nope, he's basically gone completely legit. Oh yeah, he appears more in like one scene in this film, which is interesting. I do like the fact he did that with this character. And then all of a sudden, Electra King shows up wearing this very revealing dress. Looks very, and of course then they proceed a card game, which from what I can tell, it's a very terrible card game. It's like, of course, Bond tells them like bury the top 3 cards. Okay, it's like one card high draw wins this particular money, and apparently she loses. She appears to pull the Queen of Hearts, and of course, she pulls a ace. And of course, Bond takes her out of the casino, takes her back to her house, and they have sex. Yep. Also, Bernard is basically he also killed the scientist guy, who they go to replace anyways. He appears in this one scene. And, well, after Bond leaves Electra, after they have their several hours of passionate sex, goes out, kills the place with one of her men, and then basically puts on a pair of sneakers, goes to, they go on a plane to someplace, I think it's supposed to be Russia. They don't explain where this place is. Possibly Ukraine. And then, of course, we get to meet the one of the most infamous characters associated with this movie. Christmas Jones, played by Denise Richards. A woman who is not very well liked in the public. Nope, she's probably by far one of the most despised actresses of recent memory. Because she's got a terrible personality in public. Also, at one point, this woman was married to the awesome Charlie Sheen. Yes, she was married to Charlie Sheen. For a few years. Yep. Yeah, then she gives the most hilariously bad lines. It's like, oh yeah, you need protection. You need protection from me. Yeah, and her outfit is this. Tube top, shorts, and hiking boots. That's it. Oh yeah, she also wanted to go against the whole traditional Bond girl thing. Okay, what's wrong with appearing hot? Why look so stupid? Yep, and they go down below this place where Bond meets Renard. And, of course, she apparently runs in place very stupidly. And then basically it's like, then he basically has his famous interaction like after he basically shoots Renard, he gets away. He's like, place about to explode. And, of course, takes Christmas Jones with her and says, so you're a British spy, you got a name? Yeah, name's Bond. Blows thing, and he gets the top as James Bond. They get out, place explodes, and he takes her to pretty much Electric King's, goes back to Electric King, and, no, Christmas Jones not in the scene. He's to slap him. Bond kind of tells what's going on, possibly. Of course, he's playing stupid. And then pretty much, they go, to a control center, and of course, Electric King calls M, comes to the field for the first time. Yep, and then, of course, they go, it's a control room. Yeah, and then, of course, Bond notices that someone notices there's a bomb inside the oil pipeline. And, Charles basically asked Charles to fly him out. And he's like, okay. And Christmas Jones come along because she has a degree in nuclear physics. Okay. Yeah. So they go out there, buy the car, find the bomb. Apparently half the bomb is missing. Yeah, and then after the thing, then of course he allows the bomb to go off. It looks like they're dead. Of course, she kind of thinks, yep, Electric King's villain. And she proceeds to shoot several people and take M hostage. Yep, first time she ever taken hostage. And they take it to a freaking lighthouse. And Tarkovsky basically goes visit Tarkovsky in the most awesome scene in the film, where he proceeds to go there, basically goes to his caviar factory, turns the thing, of course Bond flips over, goes to caviar, and proceeds to figure out the whole card game was rigged, and then of course, then they have, they show these helicopters earlier. Apparently these helicopters have these blades on it. And of course, Bond, and of course they want to kill Bond, obviously. And of course Bond drives his car, and takes out one of them pretty easily. And the other one comes up right behind him. He gets to the car really quickly and slices the car right in half. And then he says one of the most infamous lines. You've seen one of the trailers. It's like, Q's not going to be happy about this. And of course, the cop's smiling at it. It's so funny. Yeah, the fact she smiles at, Bond's destroyed car. And believe it or not, that there is a Bond car museum, and the car looks like this, sliced in half. The only time a car gets wrecked like this. Mm-hmm. Yeah, of course, the whole thing revealed, sending money to his nephew, who was basically a submarine captain. The nephew goes to see Renard. Renard kills him, kills his whole crew, takes a sub, and of course, M is held in a cell. Of course, M also had her hands on a chip that Bond gave her early on. Then, of course, Bond proceeds to go rescue Tarkovsky and his men. And, of course, Bond gets on the island pretty quickly, and apparently one of Tarkovsky's men turned against him. Yeah, the guy with gold teeth. And, Christmas Jones taken on the sub, and Bond is taken to a room to be tortured. Yep, very slowly. I do not know if this device exists in real life, where basically Bond is basically strapped his hands behind his back like this, and the thing proceeds to almost nearly twist his neck. It's like, does this hurt? Does this hurt? It's almost kind of reminds me of basically what happened under Red, which came out 6 years after this, where the Joker's beating up Jason Todd very slowly with a crowbar. Yep. And then Sokovsky comes in, he gets shot, and then of course he wakes up briefly, uses his cane, which has a bullet in it, takes out one of Bond's handcuffs. Bond basically gets free, and of course he chains Electric King on top of the tower, though he had to stop briefly to free him. Then he gets on top and basically tells Bernard to stand down. Of course, Electric King calls her up and says, dive, dive. Of course, she gets shot. Of course, I should point out though, prior to Bond show up, Bernard shows up, apparently decides to have sex with her off screen. Yeah, makes her probably the only Bond girl who has sex with two different guys in the film. Yeah, gets sex with her henchman, who basically was her captor. And of course, well, yeah, then apparently he doesn't feel pain and stuff like that. Apparently he doesn't feel pleasure of a woman. Yeah. Yep. Oh yeah, and Bond proceeds to shoot her. Yeah, this was something I should point out though, that apparently that they actually now, if anybody's seen Thunderball, there was a scene of Bond where it had Bond where they had Fiona basically killed by one of her own men. Yeah, the reason why this scene was shot like this because they did not want at the time Bond to shoot a woman. Apparently in the 90s it was perfectly fine, which makes it the only time Bond has officially killed a woman in the series. Yeah, and people didn't buy the fact she was the main villain. So Bond proceeds to just dive down to rescue Christmas Jones. As for M, well, she probably gets back via Sokovsky's boat. At least she's not stranded, though they don't really say what happens to her. It's like next time you see her, she's like appears at the end of the movie, she's perfectly fine. Gets back to Scotland somehow. The movie doesn't bother to explain it. And of course, Bond has this battle with Bernard down below, battles him for a while, and then pretty much just, well, has his starting to get crushed by this needle thing that he was going to use something to blow up near Istanbul. So basically, she gets electrocuted in her pipeline. He also tells her that Electric did. It's like, no, and proceeds to beat the crap out of him. Eventually, he's dead. He and Christmas Jones basically go out there via some dramatic fashion. And they go to a hotel, and then he has a line of, I thought Christmas only comes once a year. And then, of course, they have sex, and then, well, they have this ending scene of, well, Tanner basically kind of being the one running things, and comes back, and they proceed, like, of course, they kind of find Bond, and you're like, 007, and of course, cute, and then R's like, close up, it's like, maybe some new millennial thing. Yep. And of course, it ends with, oh, Merry Christmas comes once a year. Yeah. That's how the film ends. It's a pretty good film. And I know for a fact that I've heard that this film gets mixed. Yeah, apparently this film is not popular with the Bond fan, which I'm like, okay, it basically follows Bond formula to a T. Got exotic locations, beautiful women. Oh yeah, and the main villain in the film was a woman, which apparently no one buys that. I mean, it's not the 60s anymore at this point. No, I did not see this film in theaters. My dad didn't. But yeah, this is a good film, and I do recommend it for people fans of Bond. It's good. It's really good. Next film is not that good. It's basically the next film review we'll do tomorrow. Review Die Another Day. Yep. But do this next view. Bye.